A new report about social media and its effect on young girls is getting a lot of attention.
Found the negative effects of social media are saying that they know apps like Instagram are making them feel bad about themselves.
And it's not done anything about it.
Playing any risk.
Instagram.
Whoa. Tonight, we're going to talk about what's going on with Instagram, introduce a new segment, and check in with the most beloved member of the Studio Review team. 3 segments, 5 minutes. Here we go.
This is the Studio Review.
Hey friends, welcome back to the Studio Review. 2 weeks ago, I set out to connect with folks in all 50 states, and believe it or not, we got comments from people in 37 states, so that means we only have 13 to go. So if you're watching from any of these states, make sure that you click on this video up here and comment to let me know so that we can get to all 50, and I'll do another t-shirt giveaway. But without further ado, let's talk tech. This is Tech Specs. So a couple weeks ago, it came to light that as far back as March of 2020, Facebook, who owns Instagram, was circulating internal documents that indicated that Instagram was having a negative effect on its users' mental health. The documents revealed that participants in studies, totally unprompted, would consistently identify Instagram as a cause for increased anxiety, depression, and body image issues. The tricky thing is that Instagram receives more profits from advertisers the more time users spend on their app. And the part that looks especially bad is that as all this was happening, Facebook was also testifying before Congress that their products were not having negative effects.
The research that we've seen is that using social apps to connect with other people can have positive mental health benefits.
And I know this, and I know you know this, but I think it's important that we remind ourselves that Instagram is just the highlights. So we're comparing the boring parts of our everyday lives with other people's highlight reels. We're seeing pictures of people flexing and posing just right, and we wonder why we don't look like that when we walk past the mirror. So in order to help protect our mental health, I think it's important that we combat that. And this is by no means a miracle solution, but I think one way that I want to help do that is by being more willing to share moments in my life that I wouldn't deem as Instagram worthy. So in that spirit, I'd like to introduce a new segment where I talk about unfortunate things that have happened to me that wouldn't typically make it into your feed. This is Bummer. Let me take you way back like a year ago. I find this bolt in my driveway. I have no idea where it came from. I remember specifically thinking, let me put this somewhere conspicuous so that when I find out what this bolt fell off of, I'll know exactly where to find it. Spoiler alert, to this day, I have no idea where that bolt is. Okay, fast forward to August of this year. Whenever I go over speed bumps and things like that, I start to hear this weird scraping sound under the car. I get out of the car, I see that there's a little metal plate that's bent a little bit, so I get my pliers, I bend it back, problem solved. As you might imagine, this solved the problem for a little bit, but eventually the scraping sound keeps getting worse. It's louder, it's more frequent, it happens with smaller and smaller bumps. So eventually I'm like, okay, I gotta break out the big guns. This time I'm gonna zip tie this whole plastic cover to the bottom of the car. That lasts for a couple days, and then eventually it's like the loudest scraping I've ever heard. I'm convinced that this thing's about to fall off my car, hit a car behind me, cause a crash. Things are not good. So I decide I'm gonna fix this thing myself, for real this time. At this point, we had a long road trip coming up in a few weeks, so I'm like, I can definitely fix it before then. I finally get under there and I'm able to remove the plastic part, and it was fine. Except that it wasn't fine, because as I'm unscrewing one of the bolts, it just totally snaps off. So I've got the head of the bolt, but the little screw part of the bolt is still stuck up in the car. And at this point I'm like, okay, I'll solve that problem later. I do remember that I found a very similar bolt in my driveway, but again, cannot for the life of me remember where that bolt ended up. So now that the part's removed, I can figure out what part I need to order. I go ahead and order that, including new bolts, and I also go to Home Depot to buy a drill bit that can get out broken bolts. So I try doing that, but I end up just stripping what's left of the bolt. So this drill bit is like free spinning in there, getting zero traction whatsoever. So at this point, I feel like I have no idea how to get that out, and it needs to come out in order to replace the part. I have no idea what I'm gonna do, and I'm too embarrassed to take this to a car shop, because it's like, what do you even say? It's like, hey, I messed this up so bad trying to fix it that I need to pay you to undo what I did. During that time, I also find out that the replacement part that I ordered is back ordered, and it's gonna take like 6 weeks to get there. Definitely not in time for the road trip. So I cancel that order. I ordered it again from a different website, and it ends up arriving like hours before I need to leave for this road trip, and I'm still clueless about getting this bolt unstuck. So we actually end up taking my wife's car. Long story short, weeks after the road trip, I finally get this bolt unstuck by just drilling, shaving tiny little metal filings off of it until there's like nothing left. They're just small enough pieces that like break off. But at this point, I've just totally stripped the threads for this bolt. So I kid you not, when I finally got around to replacing the part, I just put a little Gorilla Glue on that bolt and screwed it in there and just thought, man, I hope this holds until I eventually sell this car like a decade from now. So that's the story of how I wasted infinitely more time, spent way more money, and shed way more tears than I would have if I had just paid a professional to fix my car. And I'm gonna be honest, that was a huge bummer. We've got one more segment that you've come to know and love, but before we head there, it would mean a lot if you could click the like and subscribe buttons down below. And if you're thinking to yourself, why does he always ask people to do that? I actually just created a 60-second video explaining why something as simple and free as clicking the subscribe button can go a really long way in supporting the YouTube channels that you enjoy. You can watch that video by clicking right up here. But by this point, you've probably already clicked subscribe or clicked away from this video. So for those of you that are still here, it's time for heads or tails. Hey, welcome back to Heads or Tails. I'm here with Penny and we're going to ask her a few questions. She's a couple dog years older and hopefully a couple dog years wiser as well. So the first question we'll ask her is whether water is wet. So the big debate here is whether water itself can actually be wet or whether it's just the object that makes other things wet. The second question will be, is it better to have loved and lost or to have never loved at all? And then the third question we'll ask her is whether she thinks there will be a National Treasure 3 in our lifetime. All right, here we go. A bunch of people have asked whether I'm putting different amounts of food in the bowls to get a specific response, but this is to show you that I put the exact same amount of kibbles in each bowl every time.
Gays people don't believe that stuff anymore. They want to believe it.
Hey, before you go, I just want to shout out counseling. Just like we go to doctors and dentist's office for regular appointments and don't have to wait until we have a serious issue, we also don't need to wait until we're facing a serious mental or emotional crisis to go see a counselor. It doesn't mean you're crazy, and it's something that's been really beneficial for me over the course of this past year. And I've also appreciated how it's become less and less stigmatized in mainstream media. But that's it for this episode. Don't forget to click subscribe right here so you don't miss out on episode 5 next Saturday. And until then, just know that even when it doesn't feel like it, it's gonna be okay. I'll see you soon.